So in this video we'll look at iterations of complex functions, where an iteration maps a complex number onto another complex number. So we can map it out, write it like this. So maps one complex number to another complex number. So we've been asked to find the second, third, fourth and fifth and the nth iteration of these functions. So for example, the second iteration, we could write this as f of z. Another way we could write that in composition terms, we could write f circle f. That is also the second iteration. Now, what about, for example, the fourth one? How could we write that? So that would be f of z. And then also that would be, in terms of circle function, circle f, circle f. Okay, now there's a rule we can use for the fifth one. What we could write that one as f of z. And in composition terms, we could obviously write that as f circle f circle f circle f circle f. And there's another rule we can use. We could also say that f2 of f3 of z equals f5 of z. That's our fifth iteration. Or we could write this another way. We could go f3 of f2 of z. That also equals f5 of z. Let's rewrite that z a bit neater. Okay, so that's how we can set out our iterations. So now I'm going to take this off the board and we go straight into try and calculating the second, third, fourth, fifth and the nth terms. Okay, let's take equation 1. So f of z equals 3z. Okay, now let's have a look to see if we can find the second iteration of that. So we want f of z. So that's f2 of z. Okay, now the function is 3 times z. So for f of z, we want 3 times 3 of z. Now just simple algebra, we can just work out that this is 9z. Okay, what about the third one? So now we want f3 of z. So then that becomes f of f2 of z, using our rule where f1 and f2 combined together will give us f3. So now we want 3 times 9z. So then that will equal 27z. So that takes care of that one. Now f4 of z, let's have a go with that one. So then for that one we could do f2 of z with f2 of z. So f2 of f2z. So then that equals, using our 9z, we could then have 9 times 9z. And then that would obviously equal 81z. Okay, so now the fifth iteration, f5 of z, that could be f2 of f3 of z. So f2 is 9 and our f3 is 27. So then that's going to give us 243z. Okay, what about the nth term? So fn of z. Now for this one, we want f circle f, da, 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 circle f. That's our nth iteration of that, where n is obviously any number up to whatever one you want to choose. So now there's a pattern forming here. We've got 9, 27, 81 and 243. So our nth iteration looks like it's going up by the powers of 3. So therefore our f n of z is the same. So the second one is 9 and the third one is 27. This looks like 3 to the power of whatever iteration we've got. So that gives us 3 to the power of n z. That's our nth iteration for this formula. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at z squared. Okay, now our function of f of z is z squared. So let's find our second iteration. So f2 of z, that basically equals f of z. So our function is squared. So basically what we want is our z squared squared. So then that equals z to the 4. That's our second iteration. Let's try the third one. So f3 of z equals f of, well, we could try f2 of z. So f2 of z is z to the 4. And then we want to square that, because that's our rule, z squared. So then that's going to give us z to the 8. Okay, let's try f4 of z. Now this time I'm going to try a slightly different route. I'm not going to do f of 2 times f of 2. I'm going to do f of 3 z. So then that's going to z to the 8. And our rule is squared. So z to the 8 squared. So then that's going to give us z to the 16. Okay, fifth one. So fifth iteration. Let's try f of 4 of f of z. So that still matches the rules that we set out earlier. So now f of 4 and f of z. Well, f of z is z squared. And f of 4, that is to the power of 16. So then that's going to give us z to the 32. Okay, what about our nth iteration? So fn of z. So then what's happening to our iterations here? We've got 4, 8, 16, 32. These all look like powers of 2 to the power of Rn. So then our nth iteration is z to the 2 to the n. So for example, 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So that becomes our z to the 8. 2 to the power of 5 is 32. So then that becomes our z to the 32. So that becomes our nth iteration. Okay.